Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. Happy 2023. Welcome to a brand new year. A chance for redemption, for renewal, for improvement. And let's just hope that all of us can be a little bit kinder this year. And let's hope that we can all be a little more giving this year, a little more forgiving this year. Let's hope that we can reach out to each other in a more meaningful way. And that we can, I'm kidding. We're not going to change. We're going to be the same as last year, which was the same as the year before that. And the year before that. We're fine. You're fine. Whatever your resolution is, write it down and light it on fire because you ain't sticking to it. And you don't need to. Did you live last year? Did you eat enough? Did you sleep indoors? Check. Proceed to 2023 with reckless abandon. It's just a big illusion that we're going to, and I love when people put out the resolution, not just for themselves, but to everybody. Let's all, when they say, let's enjoin, they want to enjoin everybody. Let us be better. And then that somehow there's going to be a seismic shift in the culture and that there will be less racism and there will be less intolerance. It's not going to change. I'm not being, I don't think I'm being, what's the word? Cynical. I don't think I'm being cynical. I think I'm just actually in the opposite way. Just self-acceptance should be the key. That should be your only resolution, is that you will accept yourself. Am I saying I can't be a better person? Of course I could be a better person. Will I be better? Nope. I won't. I've tried. And you know, look, over the course of my life, I've made some changes that have been good. I quit drinking on New Year's Day, 1990. So it's been 33 years since I quit drinking. That's pretty amazing. Isn't that amazing? Except for one night I drank. The night of Kevin Meaney's funeral, I drank. Not a lot, but I had a couple shots alone in my sister's house in the guest room. Other than that, I haven't drank in 33 years. And, you know, whatever. And I've gone to therapy. Well, blah, 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 blah. It's just acceptance and presence. That's all it is. But you know what I do want to do this year? And that I haven't done enough of is I want to fight crime more. Because I look back and I really kick myself that I have not fought crime at the level that I could. Because I'm not afraid and I can be violent. And I think that if I was just a little bit more vigilant at night, maybe what I'll do is I'll take walks at night and I'll look for suspicious people, not based on race. No, sir. It will be based on just the actual law being broken. Maybe there's a guy under a Toyota Prius. He's stealing the, what's that thing that they steal? The catalytic converter. And I grab that motherfucker by the ankles and I pull him out. Now I got a bat. Somebody gave me a bat once. The owner of the Cleveland Hilarities Comedy Club gave me a bat inscribed with my name on it. I'm going to walk around the neighborhood like Walk Tall. Is that the name of that movie? Walk Hard, whatever it was. And I'm going to beat up bad people. And I'm going to look for rapists, because that to me is really a heinous crime. So what I need to do is check in women's windows and look in and see if they're being raped. And if in fact they are, I go in with that bat and I go to fucking town. I get busy with a motherfucker. But I gotta look. How else am I going to know? How else can I fight crime without looking in the windows of women in the neighborhood? And that might involve climbing some trees or telephoto lenses and such. But if you see me out there, that's what I'm doing. I'm fighting crime. You know, when you think about these stand your ground type people, I guess a lot of people that carry guns really do think that they are deputized to make the world a better place. And that makes me warm to them. It makes me understand that they're not bad people. They just don't understand that you can't just carry a gun and think you're going to be affecting positive change in the world, because a gun is more likely to go off not in your favor. That's my understanding. And again, this is not an anti-gun rant, but if you carry one thinking that you're going to be some kind of a vigilante, you're probably going to get shot by your own gun or shoot one of your kids or some shit. So let's all just get through this year listening to podcasts and going to my stand-up shows. That's all you need to focus on this year. I want to shout out, I had a very nice message. People send me emails to fitzdog@gmail.com, and I absolutely love them. And I read all of them. I reply to all of them. Sometimes there's some people that are a little imbalanced. I don't necessarily always reply to those. But I got a message from this lovely couple, Anthony Perpetua and Celine Segretti, and their baby. And they're fans of the show, and they are a lovely couple with a new baby. They live in Brooklyn, and they just sent me the most kind, touching message. And I sent it to a bunch of my friends and family because it meant so much to me. So thank you for that video that you sent me. And thank you to all the emails that people have sent this year. It does cheer me up, makes me feel good. It empowers me to keep moving forward with this podcast. And I thank you for making this a two-way street, this podcast. I very much look at this, and probably more so Sunday Papers, as a relationship that I value and that is a big part of my life. I think it's the best version of interacting with, I don't even say fans. I dislike the word fans because I think that puts you that puts me at some kind of an aggrandized state. I look at it more as just people that are hanging out. I happen to be doing all the talking, and that's why I like to read your emails. I don't like it to just be me. So thank you for those. And I do hope you have a good year, says the cynical bald guy. All right. What else is going on? New Year's Eve was a couple nights ago. I'm taping this on January 2nd. New Year's Eve, we went over to a friend's house, Annie and John, who we love. And they danced. We all danced. We put on some 80s shit, fucking danced around, high on edibles. Well, I don't know if I think they just drank. I was high on edibles. And I took a micro dose of mushrooms and talked to some new people, some old people. And, called the usual people. I call my friends and family on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, check in. We had a great time in New York. Flew to New York for a week for the holidays. Flew on Breeze Airlines. And I'm here to officially endorse Breeze Airlines. They're brand new. They were started by the guy that founded JetBlue, which is a great airline. And everything was top notch. New terminal, new planes, or at least refurbished. Nice flight attendants, snacks on the plane. Flew into Westchester County Airport, which is outside the city, but it took us less time to get to my wife's mother's house, which is on the Upper West Side, than it would have from John F. Kennedy Airport. How about that? For the same Uber fare. And it was a pretty ride with no traffic. So how about that? did my final set at Caroline's Comedy Club. Thanks, a bunch of you came out, and we had a blast. It was a party. We took pictures after the show, on stage, off stage. I had a lot of friends and family there. We all went to the St. Regis Hotel, where there's this famous old bar called the King Cole Room with this big oil painting on the wall of King Cole. And it's a place we went for my wife's birthday every year. Her birthday is December 23rd. And we went every year that we lived in New York and met up with all our friends. So we did that. My friends from high school were there, college, New York friends from when we lived in New York. And I bought a round of drinks for us, and it was $250. Hello. Thank you, St. Regis Hotel. Not cheap, but worth it. It was a very special round of drinks. And we ate at some great restaurants on the Upper West Side, ate at a Georgian restaurant, which was cool. We had some good Jewish food at Barney Greengrass, some lox and bagels and whitefish. And it was great. And saying goodbye to Caroline's was a big deal. That club meant a lot to me. And I know Attell did the final show on New Year's Eve there, and now it's closed. It's gone. Said goodbye to Owen today. He went back to college. He was home from Thanksgiving until now, and it was nice having him around. We played golf New Year's Eve. It was raining, and we said, fuck it. We went out anyway. Me and Fitzgibbons and Gubbins, and we played 9 holes in the rain. Had a blast. Just a good kid. He's a good kid. And then he graduates in the spring, and then he'll probably move back home again. Jesus Christ, all of a sudden, it's over. 4 years of college went like that. That was crazy. My God. So, I got a big announcement to make, but I'm going to make it on the next show, because this one there's a little bit of housekeeping on this show. I've built up a bunch of overheards. I want to get to those before my guest, Ian Edwards, who I talked to earlier today. We'll do that interview. Some mail, and this is from Jim Duchene. Enjoyed your interview with Byron Bowers. The two of you posed an interesting question. Here's the answer. The reason men get sad after master... did I read these already on the show? I think I might have read this already on the show. Yeah, I did. Never mind. Skip that one. Let's go down to the overheards. This is from... Alan Olive, who said, overheard in a small mountain town in Tennessee, 2 older couples sitting in a booth behind us at a diner. My back is to them. I hear one of the ladies say with glee, they say divorce is the fucking you get for the fucking you did. Damn. Yeah. The fucking you get. Yeah, you get fucked in a divorce. Everybody feels fucked. What a process to say to a human being in front of everyone you love, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with you every day until I die. And then at one point, one of you says to the other one, remember that shit we said? I don't want to do it. I'm out. And then the other person either goes, nobody ever goes, thank God you brought this up, because I was thinking the same thing. What a relief. I'm glad we're in tune, and I'm glad that we can have walked away from this with some time left to explore other romantic options in our life. God bless you. Let's figure out something with the money, and so everybody's happy. No, it never happens. Even if you wanted to get out too, you'll play it like you were the jilted one. And make it ugly. Is there anything worse than talking to somebody who's newly divorced while they bitch about their spouse? Because there's another side to it. Heard that Paxton said, heard this at a cafe in Santa Monica. 3 guys in suits talking. One of them gets loud and says, I told him, hey man, you are not the arbiter of all that's good and right in the city of Glendale. Well, I don't know that there's a lot of right that's in the city of Glendale. And I don't want to shit on Glendale. It's an affordable place, and apparently the schools are okay. But there's not a lot that's right in Glendale. There was Miksu from Finland said, I was walking home, and in front of me there was two guys in their 50s, and one said to his friend, I think I have to crack open a beer so I don't look like a faggot. Now, I said it, but it was written down, and it's from Finland. And I don't know that in Finland you don't say that word, and I don't know if Miksu translated that word. Is there a Finnish word for faggot? Or, in fact, do they use that exact word? Or, I don't know. I mean, you can certainly say cunt in England or Ireland or I think Australia. But it is funny because when I know a lot of gay men will replace faggot with gay men. And they're all alcoholics. So you're not going to look like one. I've never seen a gay person without a beer in their hand. Let's just put it that way. Okay. Adam Bean, friend of the show, says a Starbucks in Southern California. Warm in the sun, cold in the shade. What does that mean? Yet again, a soprano voice states 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the code for the keypad locking mechanism on the restroom. A baritone voice replies 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the same combination as my luggage. Yep. I think it is of mine also. I think that I have since made my passwords better, but for many years, they were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or 1, 2, 3, however many numbers it needed to be, that's what it was. And do that in the new year. Make a resolution that you're going to change your passwords. There's a thing called LastPass that's really good, and you can put all your passwords into that and not have to worry about it again. I don't know that company's ever been hacked, but do that because, God forbid, all your life savings gets wiped out. Can you imagine? You scrimp and save, that you buy a shittier car than you could have so you can put a little money away, and then that money gets taken, and now you're driving a Prius. Oh, wait, I'm talking about myself. All right. All right, we'll get to some more overheards on the next one. Let me announce a couple tour dates. Atlanta, Punchline, January 19 through 21. Looking forward to seeing you there. Portland, Helium, January 26th through the 28th. Philadelphia, Helium, March 9th through 11th. I got some other dates I'm announcing. And then if you want to go to fitzdog.com, you can pick up your tickets for those dates. My guest today is a brother in comedy. He's a guy that I've been through a lot with, writing jobs. We've written on like 3 different TV shows together. We've been on 1 million stand-up shows together. He's one of the great laid-back, cool dudes of all time. He's a great hang. We just had a nice time this afternoon. He's got a podcast called Soccer Comic Rants, and he's got a bunch of tour dates coming up, which you're going to have to look on his Instagram account to find. He's written on The Last OG. He wrote on Crashing With Me. He wrote on The Carmichael Show, Blackish. We both wrote on In the Flow with Affion Crockett, which was a Jamie Foxx sketch show. And he performed, he had a special Bill Burr produced last year that was really good, or maybe it was 2 years ago. And he's wonderful. He's delightful. He is Ian Edwards. Hey, Ian and I have been talking for a few minutes, and I talked shit about one of my neighbors in my office, so that doesn't count. Move the mic a little closer to you.
No, that'll pull up.
There you go, pull up. Nice. Yeah. Because you're a low speaker.
Yeah. Can y'all hear me? Y'all hear me out there?
Can you hear me knocking?
You hear me, y'all?
It would be nice. Like, I used to do you did the radio show when I did it on Sirius XM, and that was fun because it was callers.
Right.
I used to like when people call, and even though, like, maybe 60% of them were people that would then give you shit. Be like, dude, you suck. Why is Howard have you on the air? But that was still funny to me.
Yeah. People love giving people shit.
Yeah.
Like that was probably, how long ago was that radio show?
Probably 5. I think it stopped 4 or 5 years ago.
And when did you start?
15 years ago.
So then that's almost like the first internet comments. Like
Right.
people calling you up saying, why do you have a show? It's the same thing when you put something on the internet now.
Yeah.
Those are the kids of the people from back then leaving comments
Right.
on internet videos.
Right. The first trolls. Well, the first trolls, you got to think, are hecklers at comedy shows.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
if you
yeah,
go
yeah.
back to like the 1950s when comedy kind of started.
Yeah.
And then before that,
Before that is the guy that shot Lincoln. What a troll, the ultimate troll. Or anybody who's killed the head of state, those are trolls. The guy that killed, what's his name, Kennedy? Both Kennedys. Trolls, man.
those are committed trolls.
Committed trolls, yeah,
I mean, some
yeah.
guys will talk shit, but some guys let their guns do the talking.
You know how some people talk shit in the comments and then you go visit them?
Yeah.
Like there's people who go to physically accost the people who talk shit in their comments. So those are like...
Has that really happened? I saw Marin did an episode about that on his show.
Oh, yeah?
On Marin's show. He went and he visited these kids and he showed up and he thought they were going to be like, you know, some tough dude.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a bunch of nerdy kids playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, yeah.
And he thought he would have some kind of like victory by showing up and being like, hey, now talk to me. And they were like, yeah, you suck. But he couldn't hit them because they were nerdy,
Right.
and he couldn't like fight back because it was just their opinion.
Uh-huh.
And what are you going to say? No, I don't suck?
Right.
So, no, I think once in a while a troll gets me. Like,
Yeah,
usually
you're
it
human.
rolls right off me, but once in a while I feel like writing back and I don't.
Yeah. I've gotten that. Like, I put my soccer podcast clips up on TikTok now.
Yeah.
And soccer's like, when you do soccer podcasts, like, people are very critical. You have to know exactly what you're talking about. And
Right.
even when you do, there's somebody going to find a hole in it because
Yeah.
everybody wants to be an expert. now.
Right.
Why do you have a podcast about this topic
Yeah.
that I know about all my life? So
Yeah.
somebody was like, this is just talking. That was a comment. And I was like, man. And then the whole week, that comment lived in my head. I was like, but it's not just talking. This is the point that I made, blah, blah, blah. I did it because this is how I emotionally felt.
Yeah.
And the more information for what I said is actually in the whole podcast. That was just
Yeah.
a snippet.
Right.
So I'm having these arguments that I would be having with somebody I'm dating,
Yeah.
like in the shower,
You're right.
to nobody in my head.
And you really like, and all they had to do was lob a grenade and then walk away. They didn't even have to stick around for the battle that you fought with yourself.
Yeah. But you don't answer. That also bugs them.
Yes.
Yeah, so I just don't answer.
It's very rare that I answer. Like I tweeted out on yesterday on New Year's Day. I wrote, my resolution this year is to not care what anybody thinks. Is that lame? Simple joke, right? Mm-hmm. How many people didn't get it? Dude, by asking that, you're caring what people think. Yes, and I actually replied to a couple people, yes, that was the joke. That was the joke.
But it's also a resolution.
Yeah.
So that means this is from this point on, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So at this moment I'm writing it, so the attack doesn't make sense either.
You're right.
You know, it makes the point that you're making and they're saying that you're not making, they're not making.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? If I could get that out correctly. Because my resolution is to not care about what people say.
Right.
That meaning I normally do. So
Yeah.
this is the resolution. So now let's see how this goes all year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any resolutions for you this year?
Nah.
That's what I like about you. You're not a guy who, like, I feel like you've figured out your groove. You got a nice life. Mm-hmm. You work a lot as a writer, a high-level writer, producer on big shows. Mm-hmm. You're doing stand-up, to your heart's content. You're living alone. You get women. You know, you bought your car. You didn't lease it. You got it all locked down. Ian Edwards doesn't need resolutions because what needs to change?
All right, I'm out. Podcast over. We did it. What else is there to ask?
No, you got to figure it out, you know. And then you see some people that just, like, you know who I like to torture is Godfrey.
Oh, yeah?
Because I always say to Godfrey, man, I don't understand, man. I don't know why you're not a big star.
I don't understand, like, and when you're in New York, you see Godfrey all the time.
Yeah.
So he, every night, does something amazing, whether you're sitting at the table at the cellar and everybody's, like, throwing in their thing and making their points, and he'll just do something in a voice that's so amazing. Then he'll do it on stage. You know, something amazing.
Yep.
And then I remember being at Montreal with him and a bunch of us, and we had the Starbucks every day. You know, the one right across from the hotel.
Yeah.
And the motherfucker was just like, he'd be talking, be like, why is this motherfucker a star?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I say it to him because I mean it.
Right.
But I also know that it drives him fucking crazy because he goes, I don't know, man. What the fuck? I go, I blame your representation. And then just because I know that's gonna plant a seed.
You ain't shit.
I owe whoever represents him an apology, but he's had his shots at the plate. You know, I know you wrote on a show for him at one point, right?
Yeah, we tried to make a show where he was the host, and me and James Hanna, but it was just
James Hanna.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't. That's a weird thing to figure out. Like, he's popular now, and during the summer or during the pandemic.
Oh, he did those, like,
he did all
periscopes
those
or whatever.
Periscopes or the we're so old. We're saying Periscope, Instagram lives, and doing impressions. So I know he's like doing better at the clubs.
Yeah.
But yeah, he probably needs to just do a special now.
He should do a special, but he's got to figure out how to get out what it is about him that's special, which is live in the room. He just lights it up.
Right.
I'm like, you're the most likable fucking guy. And he did that thing with Shaquille O'Neal that was very good.
Right.
Upload with Shaq or whatever it was called. And I thought that was going to stick. Do you remember? It was like Download with Shaq?
I think it was a show that's like that show on MTV where they just look at videos.
Yeah.
But I don't know how long that was on.
Yeah, and I think it was only on a couple seasons.
Yeah.
Rachel Feinstein and him. Feinstein or Feinstein?
Is this a trap?
I think it's Feinstein.
Yeah, whatever you say.
This determines whether you're anti-Semitic.
Yeah. After Kanye, you can't say.
Hashtag forgive Kanye.
It's hilarious.
Poor Kanye. He's mentally ill.
He's mentally
ill.
Yeah,
Why are we holding him up for judgment morally when he's just insane?
Yeah. It's clear that he's like mentally ill. Like, I don't judge. You're not supposed to judge the homeless people on the street that are mentally ill, right?
Right.
And we're like, all right, we're just happy we're not mentally ill because we can see what would happen to you.
Yeah.
Like, he's a mentally ill person with a couple $100 million.
Yeah, it used to be billion.
Yeah, it used to be $1 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
But that mental illness cost him a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, people should be reaching out and saying, hey, come stay with me, get medicated, let me support you, let me get you out of this fucking tailspin. It started when he lived in Atlanta in the baseball stadium or something? Do you remember that?
He was doing something in there. He was like getting his album ready or playing it there, having like those listening parties, but I'm not completely sure. But he was doing something there.
That's when it started. That's when you're like, all right, is this performance art, which he usually does, or is he really like flipping out right now?
Yeah, there's a fine line between performance art and like, because you're doing shit that you've lived a life where you've done a lot of shit that would be considered crazy that people have considered art.
Right.
So then now you keep pushing the envelope on that. Yeah. And it's like, at some point, you're probably going to hit some crazy.
Yeah.
You know? There's a lot of things Kanye has done that people have excused as art.
Right.
And it's like just wearing like that black mask thing over your face or the water boots. that you wear like
I don't remember
when you're
the
feeding
water
your
boots.
pigs. Yeah, he has
What
these,
is that?
Look on your computer like Kanye, like he has these boots that he actually wore them at this thing. What's that chick, Candace Parker? Like at the premiere of her movie.
Okay.
Like, and he had on a suit and like, you know, they like rain boots.
Yeah. But that's
that farmers
fashion.
wear.
That's fashion.
Nah, that ain't fashion.
No?
Nah. Like, I think Kanye tries to get away with shit.
Yeah.
And then call it. That some of it is, hey man, it's just like our jokes. Some of them are gonna hit, and some of them are gonna miss. But the sanity part of us is like, we tried it, that ain't good. Let's scrap that or rewrite it.
And also, we tried it in a room with 100 people at the store. We didn't do it on a special.
Right.
We didn't put it out to the masses.
Right.
We workshopped it a little bit.
We workshopped it, and that's what keeps us sane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it is kind of a great process with stand-up, like that. You know, like I can start with that tweet about I don't care what people think, and then I get a feedback immediately, like, all right, that didn't land. People didn't get that joke. It's too subtle.
Right. You should have said, I don't care what people think. What do y'all think?
Yeah, it had to be more pronounced. Right. But it doesn't mean it's a bad idea. It's still something I could explore on stage, but now I know I got to be more, like you said, I got to do it more like that. And then if that gets good, then you step out a couple more jokes in that same topic, and then you bring it on the road, and then maybe you do it in a special.
Right.
But like when you're Kanye, like whatever you do is immediately going out to the full masses. There's no workshopping.
Yeah. That's why I admire and I worry about comics like Kevin Hart, Sebastian, and those guys. It's like, it takes me a year to work out everything to like get a special ready, but I do it in like smaller places.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And like, I feel like they have to go big so fast.
Right.
To these big venues and arenas and theaters, like with like half-baked material. That would be terrifying for me. To like,
yeah, I mean, Sebastian's pretty good about coming out before he tours. Like he tries out shit at the store,
right?
And he's pretty brave about like trying new shit. I don't know about Kevin Hart. I don't see him in the clubs very often.
Like he'll do some clubs, but I'm like, is it enough?
Yeah.
But he's always been like fast. I remember. So I used to hang out with Kev all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and he was like, I want to start doing shows and going on the road more. But I'm like, Kev, you're like, you got like every time you're booking TV shows and you're doing this and you're doing this is before he made it. And he said, but this is what I want to do. I want to go on the road. And then I said, but why don't you go book a movie or more movies, another TV show. When that blows up, then you can go on the road and it'll be easy. Thank God he didn't listen to me, right? He didn't listen to me. He wanted to go on the road and it blew up.
Yeah.
And then, so then he does 2 specials. And then he's like, I'm going to do another special. And I was talking to Keith Robinson. And I said, I don't think he's ready to do. He just dropped that one.
Yeah.
He's going to do another one. That's just going to be whack because he didn't take enough time to prepare it.
Yeah.
And I think I tried to talk him out of it, and it's a good thing he didn't listen because that's the special that blew him up.
Oh, no shit.
One, yeah, because he's doing it almost within the same year. Are you
managing Godfrey?
Yeah. Godfrey, stop listening to me, bro.
Well, that's what Chris Rock did. I mean, he was like, after SNL, he was hanging around, and like, I had even heard like his agent dropped him or something, like nothing was happening. And he was trying to get back on TV or movies. And then he just said, no, fuck that. I'm going to go on the road. And that's before the, what was it, Bigger Blacker? What was his special that was really big?
It was like was it a half-hour joint, like on A&E?
No. I'm talking about the one that blew up, his big special.
I think he did like 3 specials back to back to back.
Yeah.
And the first one like won an Ace Award. That's when they had Ace Awards or Cable, whatever the Cable.
I won a Cable Ace Award.
You won a Cable for what?
I hosted a game show on MTV.
Oh, yeah, I think I remember that. Oh, dope. Yeah. I never won shit, but go ahead.
Well, whatever. I mean, shit.
Oh, yeah, you got 3 Emmys up there. Those are real?
4. I gave one to my mom. Yeah, those were when I worked on the Ellen DeGeneres Show.
Shit.
They're Daytime Emmys. It's the same hardware. It's the same trophy.
So you knew Twitch?
No, Twitch was after my time. When I was there, it was DJ Tony.
DJ Tony?
Yeah, he was a nice guy. We used to play ping pong all day.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And but did you know Twitch?
No, never knew.
That was fucking sad, huh?
Yeah, I'm still trying to like confuse about what happened, but
I haven't heard any stories about what would have made a guy who had a bunch going on in his career, a wife, few kids, like everybody seemed to think he was happy. The thing my mind always goes to first is that sometimes people have depression and they go on medication for it, and then they decide that they don't want to be on the medication and they just stop cold turkey.
right.
And that leads to a lot of suicide. And
Okay.
I always say that to people that are listening. If you're on medications, you got to go on them slow, and then you got to taper off them. You got to cut your dosage by a quarter, wait a couple weeks, quarter, wait a couple weeks. Because the withdrawal from that shit, man, it makes you crazy.
Damn.
Yeah. I mean, that's my guess, not knowing anything about it,
Right.
is maybe that's a possibility.
Yeah, I don't know anything. I'm just like, I know he left like a suicide note, but I don't think that's been released yet.
Yeah.
But they say they found one.
Right.
So
Well, I'm shocked that more people that didn't work for Ellen committed suicide.
hilarious.
But, you know, she got me pretty close.
Damn.
No, she did. It never got to me because sometimes when you're in a work environment where the boss is difficult, it actually, and you and I have been on shows
Yeah.
that can be, you know, that were not going smoothly, and it can kind of bring people together.
Yeah.
Because you get through it together.
Oh, that's dope.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You didn't write on Cedric, did you?
Nah.
No.
I was like across the street. I was on the same lot.
Okay.
I used to come over to the tapings because they had mad girls there.
Oh, I wrote on the
And
show. Yeah.
Yeah. You was there. Devon Shepard was there.
Devon Shepard,
I used to
Louis C.K.
Yeah. So the tapings were like a party.
Yeah.
You know, so I used to just come over there. It was just like fun. There was music. There was, you know, the sketches and shit.
Dude, those tape nights were famous. These girls used to come by and they had business cards. And I go to Cedric. I go, who are all these beautiful women? And they're wearing like micro mini skirts, halter tops. I'm like, who invites them? He's like, man, they just come. I go, what do you mean they just come? There's a list. There's like security. He's like, no. And so these girls had
Let's see how
cards.
good security is against a mini skirt. It's not how, come on.
We need some female security guards.
Yeah.
And these one like there was like 4 girls that were always there, and they were really fun. And they had cards with their picture, and they called themselves the Dangerous Dimes.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
We should look them up and see what they're up to now.
Yeah.
But that's what you had to do. Is like a part of making it back then with no internet and with like this bottleneck system of like gatekeepers. Like you just had to go where shit was going on.
Yeah.
And hope something happens.
Right.
Or try to get in with them or talk to people. And, you know.
It's a lot more fun that way, right?
It's fun, but it's like you got to figure out a way how to get in somehow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right,
like,
right.
So going to where they're actually taping a TV show.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'll do that.
Shit, yeah.
Yeah, and it's going to be fun. So you're
There's gonna
almost
be
at
drinks,
the club.
music.
Yeah. You're kind of at the club, but at a potential job interview with your legs.
Right. Yeah. And the thing is, like, sketches would come up on the show and it'd be like, we need a hot girl for this scene. Hey, where's that business card of that Dangerous Dime?
Did they get in? Any sketches?
I can't remember if they did, but, you know, we had Ken Jung got his first break on that show. He came out because Cedric had seen a tape of him singing. He did, like, hip-hop songs, but he did it
with the guitar.
With a guitar, I think. Yeah, with a guitar. And we were all like, I don't know about this, but he came out and he killed, and then he blew up like the next year.
Oh shit!
And who else was on that show? Jerry Minor.
Yeah, I remember Jerry Minor.
Jerry Minor, he was funny as shit. It was a good crew. And then at the after party on Friday nights, John Bowman, rest in peace, the greatest showrunner of all time. He he created Martin, and he wrote on In Living Color. He was a National Lampoon guy, and he would open a bottle of like really expensive scotch for the writers, and then each room, like Devon's room, was like the fucking Courvoisier room. Like each room had a theme, and then people would come up into our writing offices, and they would go from like room to room, and then down on the floor was it was crazy.
Yeah, way to let off like the week. To go into the weekend.
Right.
Take night, Friday night. Let's have this party.
Yeah.
Let's release. Leave it all on the floor.
Yep.
And like,
be a little hungover on Saturday.
Yeah. I have people looking forward to coming to work.
Yep.
And because, there's going to be like a Christmas thing at the end of the week. That's dope.
There was a guy who was a writer on the show who was, he was like Bobby Kelly. Like he got sober really young, like 17 or 18, like he'd been a fucking horrible drunk as a teenager and got sober. And this guy said to me, and this guy was a great writer, and he had a bunch of big credits, and he goes, and he knew that I was sober, and he goes, what do you think about, he goes, I haven't tested the waters, I haven't had a drink and at this point the guy's in his late 30s, 35, whatever. He goes, what do you think about me trying to have a drink? Because these Friday nights were just so like,
it looked like mad
alluring.
Fun. Yeah.
So I called my aunt who'd been in AA forever, and I said, what do you think about this guy doing this? And she goes, well, they say you got to test the bottom sometimes. Like, you find your bottom before you quit, and sometimes you have to reaffirm that you're a drunk by breaking out a little bit.
Oh, right.
And I go, that sounds crazy, but so I said that to him. And so that Friday night, he like got a glass of scotch with John Bowman and everybody else, drank it down, drank about 12 more, fucking stumbled out of there. And then work starts on Monday, 9 o'clock. This guy's nowhere to be found. Tuesday, nowhere to be found.
You're fucking lying.
I swear to God. Comes in Wednesday. He's all fucking unshowered. He's a wreck. And he ended up leaving the job.
What?
Lost his relationship. He was engaged to this beautiful girl from Harvard. Lost the relationship. I swear.
You and your aunt ruined this guy's life.
Dude, you know when I saw him last?
When?
The January 6th insurrection. He stormed the Capitol.
Get the fuck out of here.
Fucking QAnon guy now.
Oh, shit.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, shit. You.
I'm like Godfrey's manager.
Yeah,
I mean, talking about bad advice.
This guy was flying high at the top of the writing world.
Beautiful fiance, everything, man. Good looking guy. He was in a lot of the sketches.
Tell me you're fucking around on this story.
I swear to God.
Oh, shit.
I will tell you his name afterwards, and you can look him up
tell me his name
online.
after I look him up.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yep. Fuck, man. I mean, I haven't had a drink in, I quit in 1990. New Year's Day, New Year's Day, 1990. So I've been sober for 33 years, right?
Yeah. I quit when I was 7.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You haven't had a drink since you were 7?
I've had like maybe 5 drinks since then.
No shit.
Yeah.
How does it feel when you have a drink?
First of all, the shit used to hurt my stomach.
Yeah.
So I was like, why am I doing this?
Uh-huh.
And then I was like, the reason why I quit, I was drinking. I grew up in England. So I like drink shit at parties that my parents took us to with all our relatives.
Yeah.
And one time, it was like at Christmas too. They used to have these Christmas parties back to back to back. And I'd walk in the living room with all the adults.
When you were 7?
Yeah, and they're like, what are you drinking? I'm like, Pepsi. And they're drunk too.
Yeah.
So they can't tell if somebody else is drinking alcohol.
Right.
That ain't supposed to be drinking alcohol.
Right.
But when I got home, I had this hangover. I was throwing up all over the place. My mother couldn't take me to the hospital because they're like, so your son is drunk,
right.
lady?
Yeah.
So she's like frustrated. I just threw up again. And then she's like, I don't know what to do. I can't help. What do you want? I can't help you. And I was like, give me a drink. Right? 7, give me a drink.
You're like Jack Lemmon in War of the Roses. Yeah.
And my uncle is there, and he's like, give him a drink. And then they gave me a drink, and I felt completely better. And then I stopped drinking.
No shit.
Dead up. Yeah.
Damn. So when you have a drink now, you don't feel like, wow, this feels great?
Nah, because I don't like the taste of alcohol.
Yeah.
And to be honest, drugs are better.
Are you a weed guy?
I do gummies and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the way that gummies are powerful now,
Yeah.
the gummies feel like I'm taking a psychedelic.
Yep.
Like, they're cheating.
Yeah.
Like, you might as well make mushrooms legal because this gummy is acid strength.
Oh, I agree. I think that mushrooms is actually a more mellow experience than a lot of these gummies are, for
Right.
sure. Especially when people are taking, what's the most you take? Like 20 milligrams?
I'm just doing 10, sometimes the most 15.
Yeah.
But that shit be hitting hard.
Dude,
like
I take 2.5 at night to go to sleep.
2.5 milligrams.
I take 2.5 milligrams at around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night.
That's respectable. That's super respectable.
It doesn't even make me high. I feel a little,
Right.
little mellow.
Yeah.
But 15's a lot.
Yeah, 15's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, why is this, like, I feel like weed is just like any business. It starts out good, but then it's all about the money.
Right.
So I'm going to cut back on those. I don't know what they're putting in these things. I don't know what they're doing to them. So I'm going to chill a little bit. Sometimes I feel my head feeling a little blank and foggy.
The next day.
Yeah, the next day.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
I don't want to feel that shit.
Oh no, pot's
I want
definitely
to be
got a
clear.
hangover.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's and it's bad. As the owner of a couple teenagers, I'll tell you, it's bad because teenagers are smoking pot so much more
Because it's just so natural.
Yeah,
because it's like, oh, you can do it now. It's legal. But I would do that shit sparingly. It's just like anything. It's good, but do that shit sparingly.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I wish I could drink sparingly. I would love to. I mean, there's just times.
I don't want you ending up like that guy.
I know.
That's funny. You didn't drink. He drank.
Yeah.
Why didn't you say, I ain't drinking? Let's be the two guys that don't drink.
I know. I could have supported him. He could be here right now doing this
You're
podcast.
a terrible sponsor.
Yeah, I'm the worst.
Oh, man.
Oh, God.
He was going to do it anyway.
Yeah, he was probably going to do it anyway,
point.
but I don't like to know that I supported him. So let's talk about the World Cup because you have a soccer podcast.
Yes.
It's called Soccer Comic Rants.
Uh-huh.
And do you have a partner in that, or you do it yourself?
I do it with like 3 other comics, sometimes 2.
Yeah.
One is a Polish guy, Martin Harris. He's also an actor, so he's been in a bunch of shit. And Neil Chakravarti is a stand-up comic from San Diego, but born in India, and an English comic who lives in England, and Lee Hudson. So we just get on Zoom, and we just talk about the Premier League mostly, but we cover Champions League, and we talk about when the World Cup big events were there.
Did you find that your numbers spiked during the World Cup?
No, they actually went down.
How do you explain that?
I don't know. It's a great podcast.
You guys were probably thinking, this is it. We've been lying dormant all this time.
Yeah, we was hoping it would pick up. Yeah. We was hoping. But as honest as I'm being about the numbers, they stayed the same. I'm being honest when I say it's a really dope podcast. The people that do listen, they stay listening, and they tell me like, yo, this is a good soccer podcast.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you are the guy that I go to for soccer. We went to a professional soccer game together one time.
Yeah, we went to the LAFC game.
That was fun, man.
Yeah, man.
That stadium is like they got that section where everybody's doing the chants, and the songs.
I think it's the 3-5. I forgot it right now because we messed up my memory.
Yeah.
But it's 3-5-2 something. I forgot. Yeah.
But it was full, man. It was packed. Mm-hmm. And it had great energy. It was fun. I mean, watching soccer in person is about as fun as I'd say. Ice hockey and soccer are the two sports you want to see live.
Yeah, because I've been to hockey games, and then I can't watch it on TV.
Yeah.
But I've been to like 5 games, and it's lit.
Yeah.
Live, yeah.
But you don't realize how physical soccer is until you see it in person. And you see how hard these guys are slamming into each other. Because on TV, you just think, oh, this guy's taking a dive. This guy's taking a dive. No, he's being kicked in the ankle while running at full speed.
Yeah, he's being raked across the shin.
Yeah, right. So, but I mean, you're the guy that everybody looks to as like you're the expert on soccer, and you've got an international coalition with you, so that gives it some perspective.
Right.
So, what are you, Manchester United guy?
I'm a Manchester United guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
For like over 20 years.
Wow.
So sometimes people want to, you picked an easy team, Manchester United. Yeah, but I've been a Manchester United fan for over 20 years.
Did they used to suck?
Nah, not really.
They were always
suck
good.
now. But they're getting better now.
Yeah.
But, the fact that they did kind of suck, and I'm still a fan, will kind of validate, like, being a fan. Like, I feel like for every sport is cyclical. Every team is not going to be on top all the time. And I think it's good to go through some tough times.
Oh, definitely.
So that you can enjoy the good times even more.
No, it's nothing makes it more sweet than when your team's like, I was a Mets fan growing up.
Oh, Jesus.
And they were fucking horrible all through the 70s, even in the early 80s. When they won the 86 World Series, in 84, they weren't even a 500 team. They were shit. They were a mockery. And so when they got hot and they won the World Series, it was euphoric. It was sexual. It was like so intense that I almost gave up on baseball after that. I just felt like it was like you ever like have sex with a girl and you come and then she hasn't come yet and she wants to keep going. You're like, I got to take a break, baby. I need some time. That's how I felt after the 86 World Series.
You Mets this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look like Gary Carter to me right now, sweetheart. So,
Hilarious.
All right, so let's talk about the World Cup. I mean, it was obviously the finals. Would you put it up there with the best finals of any World Cup in history?
Yeah, I would, because how everything laid out. Like, for the people that don't know, like Messe, this is his last chance. I think, we're going to talk about Pele too. I just want to throw.
Let's talk about Pele.
So Messe, it's his last chance to win the World Cup. He's like
36.
33.
He's only 33?
33 or 34.
Okay.
I think 34.
Yeah.
Ronaldo's like 37 going on 38. And they're in this fight to be the GOAT, the greatest player of all time. And to solidify if you're the GOAT, you have to win a World Cup. So Ronaldo got knocked out a few rounds before Messe, and he's in there with Argentina. And so then Argentina starts the final against France, the current champions, who also made it to the final of the finals, and they're going at each other. And Argentina is pretty much dominating the game. I think Messi scored one, and somebody else on his team scored one, and they're up 2-0. 75 minutes gone in the game, and France has no answers. And then France makes some substitutions. They get one goal from Mbappe and another goal from Mbappe, and it's 2-2. Then they go to extra time, and then Messi and Argentina score again. I think Messi scored in extra time.
Right.
So you're like, this hero has scored in extra time. He's finally going to get his World Cup.
Yeah.
And then Mbappe comes back and scores and ties it with pretty much no time left. And it's like, what the fuck is going on here? Like,
also Mbappe is the guy that people are looking at and going like, he's the future of soccer.
He's the future of soccer.
Yeah.
He's already won the last World Cup.
Yeah.
In the last World Cup, he knocked Argentina out in the early rounds on his way to winning a World Cup. Him and Messi are also teammates on the same club team, PSG.
Yeah.
So they're teammates on a club team in France, and the number one team in France. Now they're going up against each other for the World Cup, and Mbappe ties it up. Then they go to penalties. Both guys, Messi and Mbappe, sink their penalties, goals, and then it's up to the other teammates, and Argentina's goalkeeper comes up big.
Yeah.
Yeah, he saves a bunch of French goals.
And then puts the trophy on his dick.
And then puts the trophy on his dick. Jerks himself off with the best goalkeeper trophy. And they win.
It was, I mean, my son has been a Messi fanatic since he was a kid. And so we went to Barcelona to see him.
Oh, shit.
And we saw him play a game, and he scored a goal in Barcelona.
Damn.
And, so he was like, he lost his voice for 3 days. He couldn't talk after the World Cup for 3 days. He went
he was
crazy.
Damn.
Crazy. Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's great because the last World Cup, whatever year that was, 2018, I guess.
Yeah.
People started to pay attention to soccer in a big way in this country. And it was exciting to see people start to get on board. And then this one was like another step cementing that we gave you a fucking World Cup final that if you didn't get turned on by soccer by this,
Right.
it's a lost cause.
Yeah. And then the next World Cup, what happened this World Cup, it's a good advertisement. Like that World Cup happened in Qatar. The next one is here.
Yeah.
Some of the games are here. So people should be really ready. And the American team will be older and better. Because they're
a very young team,
very
right?
young team, and everybody like heaping all these expectations on them, but they need more experience. So they're gonna be good, and there's gonna, Mbappe will still be young. He's still got another chance to win another World Cup. So next one should be lit, man.
So I don't understand this. Why North America? Why not the United States? It's so weird. They're gonna have games in. I don't even think it's North America. Isn't it like all of America?
Canada, Mexico, and America.
Oh, okay. It's just Mexico.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So, I mean.
But all over America.
Yeah, all over America.
That's a lot of travel for these teams. That kind of puts a team at a disadvantage if they got to travel a lot.
It's always been like that, though. The Qatar was the only time where each stadium was
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Qatar, because Qatar's so small.
Well, they built it for the World Cup.
Yeah. They built like... Yeah,
four stadiums.
So like everything was like, the players could sleep in their same hotel the entire tournament.
Right.
And fans could go to 2-3 games in a day.
Shouldn't that be how it is?
Yeah, but then you'd have these stadiums left over. Like say you did it in Cleveland. Cleveland would just have like 4 major soccer stadiums and then no teams to fill them.
Well, LA could handle it.
I'd say do it in LA.
We got the Coliseum. We got the new... whatever it's called, where the Rams play.
Right.
We got the UCLA Stadium. We got USC Stadium.
But it has to be in like a soccer stadium. It can't be like some retrofitted spot.
Oh, really?
Like for the World Cup, like,
You need 100,000 people sitting there.
Not just that. It's like, how when you do comedy in a comedy club, it's different than when you do it in some venue that's a restaurant that's just set up for comedy.
Yeah.
And this is the world's stage for the game. So you just need it like in these specific, unless you can retrofit them to like copy like a stadium, then fine. But you can't just
Is a soccer field bigger than a football field?
I don't know, man.
I think it might be slightly bigger. Not a lot.
Yeah, it might be, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I fucking stumped you.
Yeah.
Might want to bring this up on your podcast.
I mean, I don't do measurements and shit. Measurements ain't my thing. You want some maps, some square footage? I'm bad with square footage.
And let's talk about you have a series of videos you put on the internet that I love. There's so many things I scroll through on my Instagram feed, but whenever those come through, it's called Roommates, and it's you and what's the other comic's name?
Paul Elia. But let me just say something about Pele first.
Oh, yeah, we didn't get to Pele.
Yeah.
Okay.
Best, so there's the debate. Who's the GOAT, Ronaldo or Messe?
Yeah.
And that's because we live in the present.
Right.
But Pele died. So then I've watched all of Messe, his career, what he's done. And I've watched all of Ronaldo. And then there's a lot of people saying Maradona's the best. He was the one before those guys. And then, so you forget about what Pele did and how he did
Maradona's Argentinian as well, right?
Yeah, he's Argentinian as well. And he was great. But when you go back, and somebody posted a video, I've always thought that Pele was the best because he won 3 World Cups. Like Messe, everybody wants to say he's the best, but he struggled to win 1. That's how hard it is. You can't just ignore a guy that won 3.
Right.
And I know football was different then. It was easier in some ways and harder in some ways, which makes it even to now. Because the pitches that Messe and Ronaldo are just gliding over that are smooth, those didn't exist back then.
It was divots.
It was divots and shit. You're trying to beat a player on a pothole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You could beat the guy and get tackled by a mound of grass.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Right. So, also, I saw Pele play when he played for the New York Cosmos, and they were staying in Holiday Inns on Route 9. They were taking buses, not planes.
Yeah, exactly.
It was hardcore.
It was hardcore. And so on top of that, I just went back and watched some footage. And everything that everybody's crazy about these guys doing, he did it first. And somebody made a video online. It's on I put it in my stories, but it probably expired by now. And they said everything Pele did, he did it first. And he went through, they showed plays that Maradona did, Messe did, Ronaldo did, Johan Cruyff did, and Pele was before them, and they show him doing all those same moves.
No
He had the
kidding.
same speed, the same smartness.
You got to send me that,
the
because
same composure.
My son was trying to like say, oh,
I'll send it to you.
He's so like, it's all about like LeBron is better than Jordan,
Right.
you know, Messi's better than Pele. It's like they can't go back in time and look at anything and think it might have been better.
Right. People forget, but you just, especially since he died, there's so much new Pele stuff or old stuff has come to the surface of like all the search engines things, and you see him play and you're like, how could you just say he wasn't better than them?
Right.
Like you'd have to be in full denial to be like that. But
and so who did Pele play for besides the New York Cosmos?
He played for a Brazilian team called Santos, which was the best Brazilian team at the time. For most of the time he was there, and Santos has always been like a legendary team.
Yeah.
But because Pele never left Brazil to play for like a European club, they say.
Oh, I see.
They say. But listen, most of the best players in the world came from Brazil, especially at that time.
Right.
So then you're in Brazil playing with those best players. And back then, a lot of teams, a lot of the Brazilian players didn't leave anyway.
Yeah.
So then he was in a league that was so competitive that when he did play in the World Cups, they beat all these European teams that people claim were the standard. It wasn't like now where everybody leaves and is playing in Europe, and the European leagues are probably stronger. Like Pele played in a strong league, and they played. He won world club competitions where the best clubs from all over the world play each other. So he won at least 2 of those. Yeah. So it's like he was the best, bro.
Yeah.
Period.
All right. Good.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Now we'll talk about
roommates and Paul Alea, the homie.
Paul Alea.
Yeah. So what do you want to know about roommates?
Whose idea was it? Who shoots it? Who edits it?
All right.
It looks like, it looks great, but it's like internet ready. It's not.
Tell the algorithm that. The algorithm, how they have all these standards for like how to make your video pop.
Yeah.
We do all those things.
You do all that shit.
And then it's like, so either nobody's watching it or people are watching it and it's not like registering on the likes.
Right.
Because the amount, every time Paul is out of town somewhere, he hits me. And I don't want to be the bitter guy about the internet, but something weird is going on. Like he goes somewhere and he's like, hey man, I'm here at this place, wherever it is, whether it's a family function or another state to do shows. And like, I'm at the airport and people like we love roommates, right?
Yeah.
But then when you look at the likes, like if you're going somewhere and people are like, we like your thing, but then it's not registering on your phone. You're like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
But we love making it. Started making it when I did the special because I wanted something to promote.
That was the Bill Burr special?
The Bill Burr special, yeah. I wanted something to promote the special. So I always feel like when you drop a special, like it's like an album or the music or just comedy. So people put the album out, and there's a lot of good albums that don't gain traction the first time you put them out, right? And I feel like once you have an album or a special, you should always promote it, even 10 years later, because there's people in the world that didn't even hear about it. And then if at some point they can find out about it, it could always gain momentum,
right? And
people could get back into it. So I would put like not a trailer, but like how you like a flyer at the end of each roommate to promote the special. Like if you like this, go to Comedy Central or Amazon Prime to check out the special. And then we was like, we could keep making these. Yeah. From the first one, it's like him moving in with me, and he finds out that my last roommate was accidentally murdered. So I'm just trying to like fast talk and then explain it and brush it aside.
Yeah.
Because I didn't tell him that when he moved in.
Yeah.
So from that first moment, I was like, I'm going to take advantage of this guy because he's staying. And that's what we do.
Yeah.
But we could go anywhere with it.
Yeah.
And so we just have fun.
So have you guys pitched it to a network?
No, not yet.
Show? Why not, man? It's a perfect show. It's ready to go.
Thank you. And I want to gain more traction on the internet so that when we do, people can't be like, change this, change that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, it works this way. We actually are working on the long form version of it. Yeah. Like, you know, we've been having talks and some writing sessions because I don't want it to be like those formulaic shows just because it's going to be on TV. Right. And so I want it to.
No, you need it to be like on FX where they give you the reins and say, do something creative. Yeah. Reinvent a sitcom a little bit. Mm-hmm.
And so just to make it half an hour, we just got to figure out, because it's great in 3 minute, 1 minute, 90-second chunks. But it's there. Right. But we just have to build it out. And we're figuring out a way. I think we have a way. We made an episode into a half hour version. Like, we just talked it out and put down notes. And we're like, oh, this is how it goes. Uh-huh. This is how you could do it. Yeah.
Have you promoted on Rogan ever?
Nah. I'm going to Austin, so hopefully I can get on Rogan when I go out there. But he's messaged me about some of them. He's seen it. He loves it.
Oh yeah, I've talked to him about it. He's brought it up. I mean, I think if you promote it on Rogan, it'll get some traction. All right. Is there one place where they live where people can watch a bunch of them at once? Just your Instagram account?
Yeah, my Instagram account.
Yeah.
And
Ian Edwards Comic.
Ian Edwards Comic. Yeah, and on YouTube. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because your website doesn't have them.
Right. And website is down.
Your website doesn't have tour dates on it.
No, and I got some tour dates coming, so I got.
I know. I looked them up because I was going to promote them on the podcast. You want to announce them?
Yeah. Creek in the Cave.
In Austin.
January 13th and 14th, and I'm in DC for the DC Improv. I think March, and then you know that place you did in the Bell Tower. Is that in Brooklyn?
Yeah.
I think I have that coming up in the beginning of April.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. And then there's some other dates. But, yeah. I mean.
And you wonder why you're not getting traction on the internet. And then there's some other dates.
Yeah, there's some other dates. Just follow me on Instagram at Ian Edwards Comic, and most of the stuff will there. I'll post.
So, what'd you do for Christmas and New Year's? Anything?
For Christmas, I stuck around, man.
Yeah. Were you the guy that like bops around and hits a couple places on Christmas?
Yeah, but now I just got it narrowed down to like one place.
Where'd you go?
My homegirl Tangerine. She's vegan, so she makes like a vegan meal. She has friends over.
Oh, nice.
So it's like a packed house.
Yeah.
There's a lot of the usual suspects, but then there's like other people sometimes. Uh-huh. And like her family, like I know her family now, her cousins and shit. I've been going there for a minute. So it's just like cool to go over there. Mm-hmm. They have like a white elephant thing.
You bring a gift.
Yeah, you bring a gift.
Yeah.
And I didn't buy the gift. And I was like looking for a gift. I was like, I need to bring a gift over to her house. I'm about to leave to go over there.
Yeah.
And I was like, what do I have in the house?
Yeah, that's what I do. That's what a white elephant is.
Yeah, that's what a white elephant is.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what do I have in the house? And I have a bunch of weed that you get when you do shows at the store.
Perfect.
Like dabs and rolls and electronic vape pens and the batteries and all that shit. I had a bunch of those. And then, should I say this? I got a bunch of hot sauces from Hot Ones. Uh-huh. So I brought some of those. And I just had it in this. She gave me a shitty bag when I got there. Right? I said, I don't have a bag to put. And then we put it on the table. So the white elephant is funny. Yeah. Because it's you want to see somebody get a gift, pick a gift that they're happy about. Right. And you have to show it to everybody, and it's beaming like it's got the. But it's like every time you brag about a gift, somebody's gonna take that shit.
Oh yeah.
So it was.
No, we did a white elephant at my Christmas, and I got a pair of boxers that were the Simpsons boxers. They were fucking really nice. And I put them in the, I put it, and somebody got them. And then at the end of the party, my nephew had gotten it, and he's walking around going, "Where's my Simpsons underwear?" I was like, "Dude, you got to put those in your pocket. Those are too good."
Yeah.
Those had legs.
Yeah. It's funny to see the drop of the smile into the frown when somebody takes their gift. Like my gift, the weed and the hot one sauces, it was in a shitty bag, so it went like last. But the guy that got it, he was happy as shit.
Oh yeah.
He was like, "Oh shit." And then even Tangerine's cousin was like the world has changed so much that you can bring weed as a white elephant gift. I said it's legal.
Yeah.
And then he was happy about it. And then the person who went first gets to go again, and that person stole the gift from the guy that went last.
Oh, no
my
shit.
Gift. Yeah. He was like, "Hey man, I want that weed and those hot one sauces, So I was like, "All right, it's a good gift." Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you're an LA comic, you never have to buy weed. There's always somebody promoting a new brand at the store.
You do a Sam Tripoli show, you're gonna get weed, or any one of those Josh or Adam Myers shows. There's somebody. It's gonna be a bag of weed waiting for you.
Josh is leaving. You know what's Josh?
Josh Martin.
Josh Martin at the Comedy Store. He was a guy that he worked at the store as like a bartender, and then he was also a comic. And then, but he was kind of like, he was a shit talker.
Yeah.
And he talked some shit about Leslie Jones, and I think she smacked him around a little bit at the club.
Well, it definitely got back to her.
Yeah.
And they got into it a little bit.
Yeah. And then he got fired. And now he's moving.
Yeah.
He's moving.
He was moving anyway. He was telling me he was moving anyway.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
he was. He's kind of like, he wasn't feeling it here.
Oh, really?
He's kind of miserable here.
Well, he was part of the Rogan crew, and I think when they left, that might have been, like Rogan would have him open for him sometimes,
right.
And, I think was he friends with Tony?
Yeah, he used to work Tony's show a lot, kill Tony a lot, like
right.
help with the infrastructure of that show.
Yes, those guys all left. I honestly thought when he said he was moving, I was like, "Oh, you going to Austin?" He's like, "No, I'm going to New York." I'm like, "Fuck, man, New York's a tough place to move to. There's a lot of comics in New York right now."
Yeah, New York is like mad expensive.
Yeah, it's really expensive.
Yeah.
So we wish him luck.
Yeah, I wish him the
Josh.
best.
Josh, he's a good kid. He's got a mouth on him, but he's a good kid.
Yeah, I love Josh.
Yeah, he's a sweetheart.
Do your thing out there, bro.
Yeah. All right, before we go, I always ask my comedians, there's a few from the Fitzdog. That's what I call this segment.
A word, but let's go.
All right, have you ever not finished a set on stage? A stand-up set?
Yeah. You want me to tell you what set?
No, it's a yes/no question. That's really good on podcasts. Yeah. Yes, tell the fucking story.
Oh. I might walk out and not finish this. Does that count? It was at the Boston Comedy Club. They were having an audition in New York. They were having auditions for that Marlboro tour. Remember the Marlboro tour?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Paid like 10 G's, a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go on that tour so bad. They've done it a few years without me.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, they're auditioning that night. It was like a Saturday night. Place is packed. I go on stage. When I audition, I try to stay loose and interact with like anything that happens in the environment, do the material and mix it up so that it's been a formula that's worked on a ton of showcases. Some guys in the front row, I'm doing my set, I make fun of him, doing my set, make fun of him. He goes to the bathroom, he comes back, I make fun of him, he shoots back. Shoot down whatever he says. Then he's angry. He spits at me.
No.
Yeah. The spit lands on the table of a pregnant lady who's with her husband. He gets up. He goes at the guy. His friends jump in the way. The guy that spit rushes the stage at me. Yeah. And then what's the guy that used to be Dane Cook's tour manager but used to work at the Boston Comedy Club?
Jason?
Nah, not Jason. He was
Frosty. Yeah.
Jumps across and it's a melee, bro.
Yeah.
The place is cleared out.
Yeah.
Everybody's fighting.
Meanwhile, you were killing.
Yeah, I was
killing. You nailed it.
I was on the tour.
Yeah. Did you get the tour after that?
Then they cleared out the room.
Yeah.
And then they say, all right, we're going to start the show back up. and
you're done. You don't go back up.
I thought I wasn't going to go back on. Then they you have to go back on and finish the set.
Yeah.
And I wasn't the first one on right away. They kind of tried to clean the palette with somebody else, and then I went on. I just bombed, and I think I just ended the set. I was like, I'm not getting on this tour. They don't want the guy that started the fight.
No, they don't need that shit on tour. That's too much.
Yeah. I was too bad for cigarettes.
Dude, if your wife is pregnant and somebody spits on the table in front of her, you got to throw hands. That's like germs. You could affect the fetus.
Yeah, it's New York, and it's definitely seen as an insult.
Yeah.
Personal insult.
Yes. Yeah. That's good. What's the hackiest bit you ever did?
It was hacky, but I was trying to make a point.
Okay.
And I was like, it's a joke about the premise was black people have bad PR and white people have great PR.
Yeah.
So, but the examples that I used were hacky.
Okay.
To explain it. So even to the point where Eric Griffin was like, that's hacky.
What were the examples?
I can't remember the examples, but I knew he was right, and I knew I needed to get better examples.
Yes.
But I just, for some reason at that time, I didn't.
Yeah.
But the premise that white people have good PR and black people have bad PR.
It's a great premise.
It's a great premise.
Yeah.
It makes, you just have to sometimes get under the hood of the joke and switch out the engine and your operating system, and I just never did it. So I just dropped it completely.
Sometimes when you do a bit and it's got hacky elements to it, which are like placeholders. Sometimes you're just feeling out the joke and you just think of some shit. But then if those examples kill, which hacky ones often do, it's hard to pull yourself away from them and substitute something else in.
That's what happened. I was driving on hacky gas.
Yeah.
That whole joke. Yeah.
Right. And then finally, what have you turned down recently?
Apple is doing this show called Government Cheese. Mm-hmm. And, if I can't remember his name right now, it's going to be tough for a white guy to remember his name.
Okay.
But there was the black guy who played Martin Luther King in Selma. He's an English actor.
Yeah, I don't know the name.
Yeah, but he's the head of that show.
Okay.
And it's right after COVID. It was last year, 2022.
Yeah.
And all the rooms I've been doing since COVID were on Zoom. And they wanted to do this room.
Your writing
person.
rooms.
Writing rooms, yeah.
Oh, so this was a writing job.
It's a writing job,
okay.
And they wanted to do the room in person, and you come in.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to jump in traffic and do that. And there's some other, every time you take a job, you're also getting in the way of some shit you just need to sit down and do for yourself.
Yeah.
And I was like, you need to sit down and do the shit that you need to do for yourself, even though you're going to take a financial loss, because every time you put it off, it's another year of not being able to do that thing.
Right.
So I turned that down.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you turn a lot of shit down. You turn down a lot of writing work because I know you're always trying to make that balance between your stand-up and your writing. Mm-hmm. It's a tough balance to make.
Yeah, it's a tough balance.
Yeah. But all right, man. Great podcast. Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks, man. Thanks for telling me to come through. When's this gonna be up? Should I ask that while we're still podcasting? You know what? Don't answer that. You can text me the answer to that.
Yeah, and then people can find your dates and your other dates somewhere on
just
your
call
Instagram.
Me. Ian Edwards comic.
All right, man.
All right, fam.
Thanks.
What?